Here's the Left of Lansing Monday Musing for August 18th of 2025. I'm Pat Johnston. Earlier this summer, I highlighted the Trump regime's order to keep the antiquated J.H. Campbell coal-fired power plant in West Michigan's Ottawa County opened, even though its owner, Consumers Energy, planned for it to shut down last May. The Campbell plant is Consumers Energy's last coal-fired power plant in Michigan. Its closure signaled the economic, energy, and environmental movement of the future, as the state of Michigan was leaving behind the technology of the past for the new clean energy technology of the future. The closure also showed the country and the world that Michigan was moving forward towards a cleaner, more energy-efficient future, a future that also provided thousands and thousands of new jobs. Now, seeing that the world marketplace is indeed moving faster by the day towards newer and cleaner energy solutions, it stood to reason that companies such as Consumers wanted to be part of this economic and clean energy boon. Now, while natural gas isn't necessarily clean energy, Consumers decided to close down its antiquated and highly expensive coal-fired power plant in West Michigan and replace it with a less polluting and less expensive natural gas plant. And Consumers Energy originally was to close the plant down in 2040, but in 2021, it announced it would close this year, saving Michigan ratepayers $600 million by 2040. But then, the Trump regime personally got involved and blocked the invisible hand of the free marketplace in order to please its wealthy fossil fuel donors. Pushed by Energy Secretary and longtime fossil fuel CEO and oil and gas waterboy Chris Wright, the regime ordered the Campbell power plant to remain open. And you see, the regime declared it had a right to block the plant's closure due to some kind of energy emergency, though it hasn't explained what that emergency is. And that's why Michigan Democratic Attorney General Dana Nessel is requesting a hearing with the Energy Department for its arbitrary and, as she calls it correctly, I should add, fabricated energy emergency. It's currently estimated that Consumers has paid around $29 million to keep that old plant operating for these last 5 weeks. And that checks out, considering how a new report from Grid Strategy says the Trump regime's blocking of these coal plant closures will result in customers in 39 states, including Michigan, paying between $3 to $6 billion in extra electricity bills. And don't forget, this is being done because the oil and gas lobby shelled out hundreds of millions of dollars to dear leader and MAGA Republicans last year, and Trump has appointed many fossil fuel relics in his regime, such as Chris Wright. And don't forget how the MAGA murder budget passed by every Republican in Congress in Michigan scaled back or ripped away future clean energy projects in the state, like cheaper solar and wind, which will cost Michiganders an extra $320 annually by 2035, not to mention all the disappearing jobs. And by the way, MAGA Michigan Republican Congressman Bill Huizenga agrees with the Trump regime's moves to keep the heavily polluting power plant open in Ottawa County. But this is par for the course when it comes to dear leader and his dutiful MAGA Republicans in Congress. Oh, they talk a big game about the free market and try to frighten people when someone brings up universal health care, since the for-profit system that we currently are dealing with is bankrupting millions of Americans. Yet, they seem more than pleased when their dear leader Trump, at the behest of many inside his regime with longtime ties to oil and gas, blocks the free market with its moves towards an expanding and less expensive energy solution. And it's also not the first time dear leaders personally got involved when it comes to the marketplace, like when he okayed a deal for chipmaker NVIDIA to sell its product to China, and how it was just dumb luck out there that Trump happened to own around $1 million in shares with NVIDIA. It just happens, I guess. They tell you to fear someone like Democratic Socialist Zoran Mamdani in New York City because he wants to institute free public transit and affordable housing. But then these same hypocritical MAGA Republicans put their heads in the sand when their dear leader decides on his own which industries will profit and which industries will not. And it's usually tied to his wallet, while meanwhile it's the wallets of the working class that keep getting lighter and lighter. leftoflansing@gmail.com is the best way to reach me. Subscribe to the podcast and also subscribe to Left of Lansing on YouTube. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter, the Gram, and Facebook. Take the battle to them.